appreciate you guys calling in. So once again, this is Rick Moore. I'm a co-founder at BidPoint. We appreciate your time and attention here today, and we're going to move through, and you're going to meet a lot of people and hear about everything we have coming up that you can take advantage of to participate in a big way in the wonderful world we feel of commercial energy. So I've been around this industry and I've been around all the people here on the phone. I guess uniquely I've gotten to spend a lot of time with folks that you'll be hearing from today, and look forward to meeting people that are coming in from all over the country already to hear about BidPoint and to become a part of BidPoint, which is just now happening. So I want to talk and just kind of invite everybody, and we're going to move through this, as I said, pretty quickly. I want to talk about a couple of concepts and then move quickly through some of the other guests we have on the call here. We believe there's 5 elements of success in a direct sales type of opportunity. And, 1 being company, 2 being product, 3 being timing, and then compensation and system. We also believe there's a 6th element when this whole thing comes together, and I think that's what we've got here. And that's what I think is special. We're connecting the relationship of BidPoint, which is a marketing company, and Avion Energy, which is obviously an energy company, and some things that have happened just recently that have allowed this alliance to even exist. And so what I want to do at this point in time is jump to our first guest and an important part of this to share his story, and that is the founder of Avion, Mr. Joe Mittiga. Joe, you out there?
I'm here, Rick. I'm here. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the call. And, Rick, thanks for having me on as a guest. It's an exciting day. I'll tell you my story. It's pretty similar, I'm sure, to everybody on this call. My history is 20-plus years in the direct marketing world, always pursuing an opportunity to make extra money for my family, hoping someday to build something that would create a substantial difference. So like all of you on the call today, I've sat exactly where you are in the field, hoping that the new opportunity that was being presented to me was the one, if you will. And, our story is one that starts off, like I say, 25 years ago. Rick and I date back that far, and I kind of progressed through the idea of business opportunities, and really about 10-plus years ago moved from the discretionary product world, i.e. the world of nutritionals, into the energy world. And it just kind of made sense to me, if I was going to build a business, let's do it on a product that everybody had to have. And when I was introduced to the residential side of energy way back when, it made a lot of sense. Bottom line, people are going to use electricity. They're going to use natural gas. And if I was going to build a business, it made sense to do it there. Well, quite honestly, it didn't take me long. I mean, I was in that world, the residential side, 6, 8, 10 months, built a pretty substantial team. And then I was introduced to the commercial side of things. And it was really simple, the decision to shift from a residential focus to a commercial focus when I learned one simple fact about energy. And what I learned about the energy world out there is that commissions are paid on consumption. It's not based on price point. It's not based on savings. It's not based on anything except the amount that you use. So I figured quite simply, if I was going to have a conversation with somebody, I could look at a house and they had a particular size of consumption, or a small to medium-sized business, which would 10 times the consumption, or a medium to large-sized business, which might 100 times the consumption. And it just made sense we should go into the commercial world. And, one thing led to another. I was on a call about 7-plus years ago, and the founder, the owner of that company, came on. He'd never been in networking. He'd never been out in the field. He had no idea what people went through. And he basically came on a call and blew it up. I had 300 people. After that call, I had 100, and, I had lost faith, quite honestly. And I was then on a phone call with somebody, and they said, Joe, you need to start your own. And my reply to that, my reactionary reply was, start my own what? And lo and behold, it was start my own energy company, start my own commercial energy company. And that's exactly what we did. July the 4th, 2010, I did my official resignation. I contacted 5 of the 300 people on my team, the 5 people that I dealt with every day. One of those people, you heard his name there a minute ago, Tom, and another one, Jim. And, I said, guys, you know what? We're going to do it. I'm going to start it. And here we went. So, it's one thing to have a great idea. It's another thing to implement your great idea. And then it's another thing to figure out the details of it. And what we really realized that what was happening in the company we were in before, Rick, is that, we'd work hard. We'd work really hard to get a client to look and to listen and to hope we could do something. And then we'd turn it in to our, the company we were with. And lo and behold, since the company only had one price or two prices, we'd win some, we'd lose some. And quite honestly, we'd lose more than we'd ever win. It was pretty disheartening. So one of the major things from day one, July the 10th, 2010, that I knew we were going to do, is we were going to go out and create relationships with a lot of the energy suppliers. And I have to admit, in the beginning, I was saying I was going to get a lot of them. And I didn't know what a lot of them was going to be. But it didn't take me long to realize that instead of pursuing, a small number or even a medium-sized number, my mind said, let's just go get them all. Literally, let's go get them all. And get all of the largest. And there's only a couple surprises in this whole business that ever really surprised me. And one of my single largest fears, Rick, and I'll tell you, you and I talked about this for years, is that my fear as the founder here was that people are putting their relationships, their sacred relationships on the line for us. We're committing to them, they're committing to us, and they're taking our service out there. And, it was just something that kept me awake in the beginning because I was concerned. Well, we started from the idea of competitive pricing. We moved into the world of best pricing when we got our 27th provider. In the beginning, I would call. It was my full-time job for 3 years to create the relationships, to create the exposure, to tell the commercial energy world that Avion was out there. And, honestly, I thought it would be easy. When I really got in the center of it, I realized this is going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of effort, and quite honestly, we were in no rush. Jim, my partner, which you'll hear from in a minute, we said from the beginning we were going to build something that would be here long term. At the time, I had a 4-year-old. Now I have a 9 and a 4-year-old. My dream of aspirations was to build a business to where when my kids went to college, they could go wherever they wanted, not based on Dad's bank account, but based on their abilities and desires. So now I'm happy to say, we're in the 70-plus range. 60 different companies and contracts everywhere. And as you're on this call, you're going to realize how that really benefits each of you on this call. The bottom line now in any given market across the country, from Maine to Florida, from Georgia to Texas, Illinois, East, if you've got a client, we can find them the best price. Why are we so confident? Because we've got contracts now, independent contracts, and all the same, so we're non-biased on our side with the top 10 for sure, the top 30 we're believing, and when you have all of the biggest, the bottom line, the benefit goes to the client, and our renewal rate is extremely high because of the process that we work. So, Rick, it's an exciting day. This is a day that we've been planning on for a long time. Avion's here. With a huge track record. We've been doing this for a long time. We've got, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of satisfied clients, and our proof of concept's out there and it works. So we're excited to have you guys on the call. Anything we can do to support the process, just let us know. And Rick, thanks for having me on the call. I really appreciate your time today.
Well, I appreciate that, Joe, and to be able to say you've got the top 30-plus suppliers in America to bid and 70-plus relationships, perhaps, and companies are always gobbling each other up, but you'd be able to maintain and keep those relationships. Having that's great, but then somebody's got to deal with all of that. And so our next guest is Jim Sharon. He's every C-level position at Avion Energy. CEO, FO, and OO is how I talk about it. But I know Jim is the energy mind. He's kind of our energy Oz. And so I'm excited to hear Jim here on the call. You out there too?
Yes, I'm here. Rick, thank you for having me on the call. just following up with what Joe said, it's been an exciting 7 years that Avion's been around. And we did from the very beginning. We wanted to make this an opportunity where we represent the client, not represent one energy supplier, and we've got one price. You win some, lose some. We like to win every time. So we designed a system to do that. But part of what needs to happen behind the scenes that most people never know about is to develop some technology. And I'm proud to say that our technology now is waiting on a patent. It's patent pending. And think of it this way. We do business in all the deregulated markets. There's 71 different electric utilities. There's 151 natural gas utilities in that footprint. It encompasses 23 states. We've got 50-plus energy suppliers. When you do the math, multiply all those together, any single request for pricing could have tens of thousands of potential options. And, in our early days when we were doing this manually, like most companies operate in this space, they do this through some manual process. I knew that we had to create some technology to automate the process in order to be able to scale the growth and be able to handle multiple thousands of RFPs, requests for pricings, on a daily basis. And I can tell you we've built the technology, and we've created this platform of competition. Joe talks about those 70-plus energy suppliers. Well, we've created this platform of competition. They know that I'm going to put their name, their prices on a single sheet of paper right alongside their competitor. The only hope they have of winning the business is to have the best price on that page. Now, that's very different from what Joe and I did in those early days when we were with a different company. We'd sit across the desk from somebody, and we were part of the competition. We'd win some and lose some. Our clients now, when they engage us in energy procurement, they know when they go through it the first time, they see all of what we do, they realize they wouldn't spend the money themselves. They wouldn't tell one of their employees to go get prices from all of those energy suppliers and make sure to read all those contracts to guarantee that it's an apple-to-apples comparison like we do. And that's why we boast a 91% retention rate with our clients over these past 7 years. So it's a huge story. There's a lot more detail. And gosh, one of these days, Rick, when we're back on a call, we'll start sharing some of the individual stories of clients. I want you to know that Avion, in our 7 years, we've gathered a staff that is experienced. They have a high level of expertise. We have individual that is a licensed, a certified energy procurement professional. And so, anything that happens as it relates to energy procurement, no matter how big or small it is, no matter how someone is doing it, we're fully aware and we're fully capable of handling energy procurement in any way, shape, or form that a company out there needs to handle it. So we're in a great place, a great opportunity for those listening in today to leverage the relationships they already have, because every business out there that that you already do business with, they need energy. They use electricity, natural gas. They use it up every month. They pay for it over and over again, and there's no reason why you shouldn't get paid a commission. I like to think of it this way. Somebody is getting paid a commission right now today on all the energy that's being consumed by those people that you know. You might as well be the one earning the commission instead of somebody else. Rick, I'll turn it back over for you today because I know we got a short period of time.
Well, thank you, Jim. That's awesome stuff, and that's what everybody on the call needs to note, is that the patent pending Direct Connect portal that Jim was speaking of is really what makes BidPoint possible, where we can put numbers of people into a commercial energy opportunity. That's the limiting factor for most other companies. We do not have that limitation. The next person I want to go to, is a business mentor of mine. And whenever I've got a business challenge or situation or whatever it might be over the years, I typically have lunch with this guy, and his name is Mr. Hutch Hodson. He runs our BidPoint agency, which does some specialized and custom stuff for us. He's also doing research on non-supply products, and he's the director of our custom channel. So what I want to do is, at this point in time, turn the call over to Mr. Hutch Hodson.
Well, thank you, Rick. I assume you can hear me out there.
Very well.
Yeah, Rick and I go back to about 2004 My background was not in the direct marketing field. I joined the Coca-Cola company a long time ago and went overseas for about 5 years to learn the business. Came back and got an MBA from Harvard, and then actually went back with Coca-Cola and spent the next 19 years in Europe and parts of the U.S. and then in the Far East, and helped open up China while I was living in Hong Kong. Got the itch to become more entrepreneurial, so I came back to the United States and started a little ham company, a spiral slice ham company, to compete with Honey Baked, who had no competition in those days. So we opened Heavenly Ham, was the name of our company. We franchised it because that was the best way to grow it, and grew it up to about 216 stores in 34 states, and along came Honey Baked and bought us out back in 2004. Got involved with Rick at that time because marketing has always been something I enjoyed. I was busy with our family business, checking the demographics of the U.S. Certainly, it was easy to see there were a lot of people becoming elderly, and they needed home care. So we invested, my wife and I, our family invested in a in-home care business down in the Southeast, and that has grown tremendously. And when you look at this opportunity, the numbers, the demographics point in such a great direction for us all. As Joe said, everybody needs energy, and that's exactly where we sit, right in the middle of it. I am really excited about the potential of this very creative opportunity with the opportunity to have a machine or a system that allows anybody to go out and find a client, put it into the system, and get the most competitive price available and sign them up. And with a 91% retention opportunity, it's just a win-win. I've been in other direct marketing ventures since I met with Rick. Some have been better than others, as Joe said. That seems to be the batting average with that type of business. But this one is really exciting. We're basing it on solid rock. Everybody needs energy, and if you go with pricing and a system and the kind of people that can take that opportunity and run with it, then, you know, the sky is the limit. So, Rick, I'm very excited to be on board, and I'm actually now on the board of Avion. So, you know, it's all boats in a row here for this event.
All right. Well, thank you, Hutch. I appreciate you sharing, and that's right. You know, it's there's a lot of work yet to do, but I think we're assembling quite a team, and really the engine, in my view, of what's going to happen here at BidPoint is the dynamic duo coming up here, Mike Healy and Monty Bertrand, who are my partners at BidPoint, you know, running marketing and media respectively, and they've got some background to share, and so I'm not sure who is going to jump on first there, but I want to pass it to Mike and Monty.
Thanks, Rick. Monty, you on here?
I'm in. Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
sir.
You're good, man. Why don't you go ahead and fire it up, because I think you and I will just go back and forth a little bit on this, and give everybody your background first.
Great. So I come from 25 years of software engineering, computer programming, and web development. I've done work for the Fortune 500s, 100s, companies you'll know like Pfizer, QVC, all the way down to small businesses. But I've always been a networker ever since college. I've always been in direct sales and really have a passion for the home-based business industry. And I wanted to apply all those lessons that I learned in the area of technology to that marketplace and to that industry. So I met Mike Healy in an opportunity that we were working together, and when Mike went and had great success with an energy business, he approached me to talk to me about that, and we started talking about digital marketing platforms and the technology that could be brought to bear to accelerate the results of the sales force. And so I really got hyper-focused on that. We did some consulting for some companies and really sharpened our or tools in the digital marketing arena. And so that's what I kind of bring to the team. My job's going to be, connecting BidPoint's marketing to Avion Energy's amazing technological platform in the back end in a way that makes the sales force work faster, better, more efficiently. So that's what I do. I'll let Mike tell you all about how I and Mike and Rick all got together. I'll leave that story to you, Mike, and I can't be happier about what we got going here. Everybody's so impressive, and the opportunity is just fantastic.
Thanks, Monty. Appreciate it. Great job. So my name is Mike Healy. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and Rick and I have been good friends for probably going on about 8 years. And when I've been in the direct selling networking arena for the past 21 years. I've done it very successfully. Built a full-time income with it, and built teams, sales, you can call them a sales force, into the tens of thousands and multiple companies before, and so on. And I completely understand what it's like to be in the field, to talking to people, messaging, and so on. Probably about, and I've been very good at it, and I've put lots of great trainings together and so on. But probably about five to 6 years ago at least, maybe even a little more than that, I really wanted to figure out how to take the old school methodologies and incorporate them with obviously the new school technologies, basically the internet, the social media, the marketing, the pixels and retargeting and high, really, really crazy stuff. Because I figured if you could do that, you could just pretty much, run the world. And we're seeing that happen in a lot of big companies. I have successfully done that, as Monty said, but what happened is Monty and I's relationship has grown to the point that I had to learn his language, and I understood what he understood and could bring to the table. And what that all means, let me just sum this up, is what that all means is I believe that anybody that becomes part of BidPoint is going to have marketing backing like they have never seen with any other company that they've been affiliated with, okay? I mean, obviously there's some great companies out there, but the things that we know how to do on the back end that you won't have to really think about for marketing, to promote you, to promote your business, to promote your brand, to promote your ability to go out and gather customers, and build a nice fat residual income. I think that we're going to absolutely dominate. I know we're going to dominate this market space, but just the other things that we have in place is just mind-boggling to me. That what we've come together. And I mean, I'm really, really excited for this time to be here. I mean, this is like a dream come true, because we've been working on this for a few years to put everything together with, BidPoint being the marketing arm, basically building the sales force. That's what, myself, Rick, Monty are going to be primarily responsible for. And then, we bring all that and help you guys get those customers and development, all the, help the training agents in the field, and get that to Avion so that they can do what they're experts at, which is helping close those deals. And it's a win-win for everybody. And we're putting this together, I think, like nobody's ever seen. I mean, it's just exciting. So if I don't shut up right now, I'm probably going to keep going on because I'm too fired up about it. But I'm going to pass it back to Rick. But you guys, everybody else that said something on here, you guys did a phenomenal job today, and just excited to be, launch this publicly, this partnership now. And let everybody know what we are, who we're, what we're about, and it's going to be exciting. So, Rick Moore, let me pass it back to you, buddy.
Absolutely, Mike. I want to ask you a couple questions real quick. If we're pointing people on this phone to information to follow BidPoint, what's the best course of action for somebody on the phone who's really just hearing about this for the first time? Obviously, get back with the person who invited you, but what else are we doing?
Okay. Probably one of the main ways we're going to communicate with everybody in the field will be the Facebook page. So you can just go facebook.com/BidPoint. That's, probably the easiest. And then we have a blog site that is going to be probably the primary place that you're going to have all the tools, downloads, things like that we'll have out there publicly for you. And that's bidpoint.co. So bidpoint.co. If you go there, and we just today we finalized putting up, there's a new training tab on there. So anybody brand new will, that signs up will automatically, pretty soon it'll automatically redirect them to this training page. But if you're already in BidPoint, you want to go there after the call and then go to the training tab at the top right, click on that, and you'll see we have a lot of great information on there, as well as a welcome video, getting started video, the downloads, things on there. You can sign up for the email list. That way we can make sure we communicate with you properly. So those would be the best two things I would say right now to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Monty. You know, guys, it's exciting that this is coming together. You know, I've been around this industry a long time, been on the corporate side of it. Also, like the gentleman on the phone here today, I've been involved in commercial energy with Joe and Jim from the early days, and went out and took a corporate position in the industry. And you know, I know who's out there, like who's out there in these different companies that are leading these companies, and there's not. I don't know of any company out there that's got this quality of this cast of characters, frankly. So we're excited that you're here. What Mike and Monty are talking about are going to benefit us collectively, but also you individually. Because of the technology that they have, it's going to benefit you individually, that their technology is going to help you market your individual business. And that's huge, and it's a huge distinction compared to what's out there. Next steps, we're going to put some announcements out there on BidPoint.co, I'm sure, by Monday. But get with the person that invited you to this call for next action steps. We are open for enrollments now. We are running a promotional. It's $99 portal fee for a year right now, including renewals, or it's $21 a month. There is no other expense. You can have a massive business here for, you know, $8.25 a week. So we consider that to be something special. And I know that it is, especially in comparison to what's out there and what you get here. So I want to thank everybody once again for calling in. I want to thank Joe and Jim, Hutch, Mike, and Monty, and everyone here that dialed into the call. So you guys have an awesome weekend and an awesome rest of your day as well. And good luck and God bless. And let's go knock this thing out of the park. Have a great night, everybody.